How's it going, class? My name is Seth Atkinson, and for my Ethics in the Media video presentation, I'm going to be talking about a New York Times article called Bribes and Backdoor Deals Help Foreign Firms Sell to China's Hospitals. So what's happening? Bribery within hospitals is being performed through third-party dealers hired by foreign companies such as Toshiba, General Electric, Siemens, and Philips. These dealers bribed the meagerly paid health officials within Beijing hospitals to purchase their sophisticated health equipment. Oftentimes, they're marking up the price at least $200,000, and there's been a couple cases where it has been as high as $1 million markup just for one piece of equipment. The health officials who accepted these deals in the past have received large sums of cash and even homes for their family, which we'll get to here in just a second. These price markups are increasing health costs for the public, clearly making this an unethical business practice that needs to be fixed. So a few case examples here. In one case filed in 2016, there was a hospital administrator in Beijing named Wu Degang who was offered more than $1 million by two General Electric sales reps to secure the sale of a CT scanner for $4 million. He also took a bribe for $220,000 in bills packed neatly into a suitcase in his trunk from a General Electric sales contractor, and for doing that he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. And then another guy named Gao, a president of a hospital in the Anhui province, was accused of taking bribes from both a Siemens sales manager and an employee. The bribes were cash and homes for his wife and daughter. So since in that case there was both a manager and employee involved, you can see that among the different organizational levels within Siemens there's corruption, and there's been speculation that they are taking these bribes to get the hospital directors to buy these equipment to increase their profits within the company. Their responses, General Electric and Siemens, along with other corporations, state that they have no choice in selling the hospital medical equipment through middlemen dealers, which then, stating that they're placing the blame on these dealers for their bribery. These corporations state they are not at fault at all, and they are well within the international and Chinese laws. All medical companies state Chinese law requires them to use middlemen, which they say they have no say in how they do their business and how much the final dollar amount comes out to. But there is a Foreign Corrupt Practices Act in the United States that companies can be held responsible for the misconduct and unethical practices of distributors. And also there is a statement for the act that says that these companies must sign off on the distributors' paperwork that they deal with the hospitals with, so they actually sign off on the final dollar amount. The effect is an already poor public now have to pay more for care to offset their medical equipment prices. Corruption continues to occur in this market as no major action has been taken. And pictured on the right is a former chief compliance officer for Siemens, Mr. Meng Lin Liu. And he spoke up about the corruption within the company, and he was fired for it. And they even took it to court in 2013, and it was a whistleblowing case, which basically a whistleblowing case is where an employee that was previously fired from a company takes the company to court for speaking up about unethical practices, or they had been fired for naysaying basically against the company. And he was saying that the corporate conspiracy within the market is very real, and that it's a very real factor that's affecting the prices of all this medical equipment and their unnecessary markups, which is just driving up the prices of all medical care. Oh, wrong way. So what we learned from these scenarios in China? Medical corporation greed extends well beyond our borders, as we all know how expensive healthcare treatment is currently in the United States. There's also insulin reforms going on in the United States due to the high prices. There was the AIDS pill a couple years back that the guy pumped up the price of hundreds of percent points above what it was. Corporation within medical companies and hospitals involved affects the lives of millions, making life-saving treatments too expensive for some due to corporate greed. Nobody has taken the blame for these bribery misconducts, even though there have been a few people that have been convicted and sent to 10 plus years in prison. There still isn't one to mention, whether it be the third-party dealers or the corporations. Neither of them are taking the blame for these misconducts, which is a huge unethical issue, because they both have to link up. They're all interconnected, so that makes it unethical that they're all involved because they're basically guilty by association at that point, which I'm sure most people can assume after all of these cases that they are well aware of these issues that are occurring. And it seems to be a worldwide issue with these unethical behaviors where people's lives depend on ethical behavior for pricing and care. And then this is my source. So I'm going to start off my discussion here in a few minutes. And I'm going to ask what you guys think, what needs to be regulated to make these unethical business practices cease, whether it be better financial form statement transparency or more documentation regarding these deals. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the discussion. Thank you.